We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man. Better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Stop whining. We're all gonna die! Oh, yeah! You're gonna cry? You're gonna cry, kitty baby? Oh, you're gonna fucking cry? Look at him, he's crying. It's gonna be metal! It's going to be mental.
Oh, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. I have a lot going on. It's the Incremental podcast. I'm Eric Redinger, and I'm playing director, and producer. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with this, because I've got the live stream studio going with 3 cameras. I tried to set it up so that I'd have the Incremental logo on every screen in here, and I fucking didn't figure out the TV monitor display gimmick. It's like $59, and can't believe it doesn't work. Today's podcast is going to be about Wim Hof, the Dutch guy who they call like a daredevil, but he's not really a daredevil. But we're doing him because the guy changed my life. He has figured out a way to manipulate your autonomic immune system. And that was something that was thought to be not possible unless you had some sort of intervention via drugs or something, I think. I did some research, okay? I just didn't, I don't know where I'm going to go. I got this. This is Wim talking about it.
The mind is so capable
I
of
think I
controlling the body
talk over it
more than we think.
so I don't get in trouble.
That's what I found out. Not in the books. I found it out right over there.
And he's pointing at ice cold water when he says that.
What freezing water does. It brings you to, you got to control the core. But with that, there's a whole lot more going on.
Yeah. So Wim Hof, if you're wondering who the guy is, he I think he did like all kinds of weird yoga instruction and rock climbing instruction, all kinds of stuff like that as a job normally. And at some point, I don't know if I have it in here on the Wikipedia or not, his wife killed herself. And he was a father of 4, and this devastated him. And he decided he was going to be a badass and go into the wilderness and figure out how he's going to get over his own depression using nature and his own mind and breathing and all these things, because he was so heartbroken. So over time, he figured out that by doing a breathing technique in which he oxygenates the blood, what he does is it's a fully in, let go. And when you're doing that, you're letting more air into your lungs than you're letting out. And you're making your blood alkaline, which apparently is the craze these days, getting alkaline water and all that shit. But he has you go through this oxygenation of your body. You continuously do this. You do it like 30 or 40 times, right? And once you get your body kind of tingly and hyperventilated, you then release all the air from your lungs. So at this point, your lungs have been fully inflated, and then you're letting it all out, and then you hold your breath. And that's where the kind of repair comes in. While you're holding your breath, your body starts to go into survival mode. So your autonomic immune system kicks in and starts producing various hormones, epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, those sorts of things, and it makes you feel great. not only that is doing it every day for me at least has made my immune system 200% better, maybe. I don't know. Um, it's just like the craziest thing in the world. The reason why I chose Wim Hof to do the second podcast is just because of how much it changed my life. Um, I can't imagine where I would be with kids and their disgusting germs without Wim Hof. I might be dead. Might be a dead man because it's something that like I, I used to be afraid of the cold. I'd be the guy. I need four sweatshirts. I'm so scared, and that was the main reason why I saw this YouTube video about the guy. I don't know if it was a YouTube video or if I heard him on Rogan first. I guess it doesn't matter. But I saw this video of this dude who trained himself to be basically immune to the cold. And the YouTube video was a Vice documentary, so it was like half hour long. And of course the Vice guys are like, "Oh my god, who are you, man? Like, whoa, like totally crazy." Um because he basically has these people going from being able to hold their breath for 30 seconds or whatever somebody normally can to holding their breath for close to 2 minutes within, I don't know, 20 minutes of training the breathing exercise. So it's something that you can try and figure it out within a day. It's not that hard. It's a matter of keeping up with it, continuously doing it, and getting a little bit better every time. That's the pragmatic advice, the incrementally better advice, or whatever we're calling it. He doesn't stop with the breathing. Um, the breathing itself is it can be used as a sort of go to. I do it if I'm feeling worked up or feeling stressed or whatever because it brings you right to the center. Like you have to pay attention to it. It's something that you're going to get results, you're going to get it, and it's an exercise. So making it out like it's this easy thing to do all the time is not necessarily the case. It's the first thing I do when it comes to wellness stuff, and I I, I wake up in the morning before I stretch, before I take a shit, before I do anything. I'm doing my Wim Hof breathing, and it starts the day out great. Puts you in a good mood immediately without negotiation. Um, the 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 ice part of it um, was like the driving factor for me, um, withstanding the cold. The immunity, it was a bonus sort of thing. But he makes it into like a 3-part sort of thing. I'm actually a purchaser of the Wim Hof Method course, so I don't feel too bad talking about it. Um, the 3 parts being breathing, cold exposure, and yoga or stretching or whatever you want to call it. Um, the yoga and stretching thing is like something I already did. So that was kind of easy. But he incorporates the breathing into the yoga, and that in and of itself has made me way more flexible. He basically recommends that you breathe as you do the deep breathing. You do it however many times, and then when you want a little bit more stretch, you breathe in, and then you release it and you let go. And as your body releases the air, the internal pressure of your body is raised, I guess. Basically, you have more room inside your body because there's less air, giving you a little bit more stretch. And I don't know if there's actually science behind the breathing stretching combo, but I'm sure it does something to actually cause a mechanism of flexibility. But um, just that letting the air out in itself lets you have more space to be flexible, be like a little spinner. Um, the cold exposure is huge. Uh, it's something else that incorporates the breathing. He recommends cold showers and ice baths. The cold showers are supposed to train your blood vessels. So you've got millions of little tiny little blood vessels that go all the way to the tips of your fingers and your toes. And like when you get cold or you get cold water, you sort of seize up. All the blood in your body is going towards the internal organs to try and save your life. It thinks you're dying. You're not. It's 2018, almost 2019. Merry Christmas, everybody. But the point being that like very few people are in danger of losing their lives over an ice bath. You could just get out. So when your body takes the blood away from your fingers and toes and your extremities, then you start to shiver to try and heat back up, and things just get out of control, and then you're just uncomfortable, and then your mind is saying, "Oh, you're so cold," and then it snowballs, pun intended. I should actually bring up my other soundboard so that I can take a shit on myself, because I take a shit on law all the time, and I should do it to myself too. When you're doing the cold exposure stuff, the breathing acts as a sort of mental crutch, I guess is the best way to put it. It's a go-to sort of thing. It's something you can do to physically increase the body, your body temperature. It's an exercise. You're going to get a little bit warmer from that alone. And then he somehow figured out how to activate your body's brown fat stores. I should have looked up the actual definition of brown fat. I'm going to do that while I talk. The brown fat stores are what let you stay warm without shivering, basically. And if you can do that and you can stay in the water longer, the cold water will cause your body to go into survival mode again and release similar hormones and things like that to make you feel great. I don't know, in the last Sweat Equity podcast, we were talking about getting massages, and it's like, I don't feel the need to ever get a massage anymore because I don't ever feel sore. You get an ice for 2 minutes once a week, and you're good. That's your massage right there. It takes 2 minutes. I really need to get an ice machine. Those things are expensive because I want to get like 40 pounds of ice at a time. But they, like, you need to have it all sitting there ready to go, right? And then that's like a restaurant commercial grade ice machine. Those are expensive, and you got to run water out to it and all that shit. But that's where it's at. That's when I'll really feel like I made it, when I get that ice machine. I'm going to buy the bags every week at 7-Eleven or whatever, and it could be like $10. You get like 40 pounds of ice. I actually have a little Japanese bath thing. If you go on Amazon, they have it. It's like $50, but it's vinyl, so you can kind of soap it up, scrub it if you want to, leave it outside. It's not big. I mean, I'm not a big guy, and I fill it out. Friend of the program, John Paul Labadie, one of my best friends in the world, Tampaniac Pictures. Check it out for your wedding videography needs. He fits in it. He's not here. I'm looking over at the control room like he's here. So he's pretty rotund. He fits in it, but try and kind of think about that before you buy one. If you're humongous, if you're 6'4", you're probably not going to fit in that thing. But I fill that up with water, throw 30, 40 pounds of ice in there, and the goal is to get it to 50 degrees. If you can get in the water 2 minutes at 50 degrees, you're good. I need to find the study that actually shows that that it works, because they did do a scientific study on the thing, and they were able to show increases in all those hormones and whatnot. So you always have that to go to. Living in Florida, I feel like in general everything is relative. So when you get it to 60 and you get in there, because people don't realize something different about the water. Like 60 degrees in water is fucking cold. it sucks. You don't want to stay in there. I mean, 50 degrees feels like you're going to die, to a Floridian at least. And even really, Northerners, you're not getting in the water. I heard a thing, actually, Wim Hof was, I forget what, he was doing an interview, and they asked him about the cryotherapy. That's where you go in and they have a big chamber and they make it like negative 230 degrees and you stay in there for 2 minutes. And it's the same idea. Um, John Paul Labadie and I actually did that. I've been thinking, it's not the same. It's not as encapsulating or something. And I heard Wim Hof in an interview say the same thing. He's like, it's not the same. I don't know why. Um, but the cryo thing is even more expensive, even more of a pain in the ass. Then you got to drive down to whatever ritzy place in your town has it and sit and wait in the waiting room, fill out all your paperwork, all that shit. Just get an ice bath. You don't even need to buy an ice bath. You can use your actual regular bathtub if you want. I mean, before I bought the Japanese one, I was using my garbage can, recycling bin. The garbage can's pretty gross. I think that somebody put a dead animal in it, so it stinks forever. It's been like 2 years where it smells like a dead animal. I poured bleach in that thing, soap. I don't know how to get it clean. So I used the recycling bin instead. But that and you got to put a little, make sure it's watertight because I had to put some modifications in there. But don't let that be a hindrance to the Wim Hof Method cold exposure side of things. It's easy. If you don't want to go to the cold ice water yet, start with an ice bath, or excuse, a shower, cold shower. The cold shower, I think, can be almost harder than the ice bath sometimes because the ice bath, you can get in and kind of settle in, and just it starts to feel like you're just in this body that's experiencing this cold, and you can kind of get there with you know some powerful mind numbing tricks sort of thing. The cold shower though is different in that it's continuously hitting you. You keep getting pelted, so your body can't really normalize in the same way. um, if you're doing the cold shower training correctly, you're going to keep putting the ice cold water all over different parts of your body because you're continuously shocking it. So you want to train those blood vessels to not seize up. Um, that allows you to then get in the ice water and the blood keeps flowing and you're a lot better off. Um, let's see, what else did I want to talk about with the ice baths? Um, oh man, did you know his birthday was on 420? Wim Hof? Guy's my hero, man. I was talking about it with Law Smith, co-host the Sweat Equity podcast, and I was saying, I don't mark out to a lot of people. I can meet the president, any president, and be like, nice to meet you, whatever. Wim Hof, I might cry if I meet that guy. He's that like big to me because what he figured out is crazy. I'll be putting in the show notes all the links to the science behind it and all that stuff. Because it's there. It's not like crystals or chiropractors or anything that, there's a lot of stuff out there that works in a way that is the placebo effect, basically, where if you believe that it's going to work, it works a lot better. And I'm not shitting on that because it's just as powerful. I mean, that research is out there. Research on the placebo effect, it can be more powerful than the drugs themselves. So I don't want it to come across like I'm shitting on a chiropractor because if you go to the chiropractor and it works, go to the chiropractor. Like your mind is letting it work. So I guess the point in that is that your mind is capable of a crazy shit. That's why this guy is so important to me because he changed my worldview on what I'm capable of. And in terms of cold exposure, toughness, like I was the worst. So then I go to like, I'm the weird guy who does ice baths. You know, it's weird and it's profound. And I think that the more this guy gets exposure, that it's going to become more and more a part of canon for well-being. Um, Most everybody who's involved with wellness will talk about some sort of breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, that sort of thing. But when you're doing the Wim Hof breathing, it's like forced meditation. You're getting the mind clearing douche that you need, is basically what it is. I need to change this camera angle one more time because I'm not using it. Hey, camera 3. I actually thought about trying a little theater in the round situation, leaving all these mics hot, but it's picking up a lot of ambient noise, so I chose not to. Um, but yeah, I don't want to talk for too long about Wim Hof. Um, One thing I did want to talk about in terms of what else this breathing uh, method helps with is lifting weights. Um, Part of his program is that you take a baseline on your push-ups, however you could do it. And if you watch the Wim Hof Method push-up program, it's pretty bad. It's a bunch of like soft, pasty Dutchmen doing these half push-ups where they like just sort of bend their elbows and they jerk their head around. And it's like, wow, I did 50 push-ups. Okay, you didn't do shit. Um, but I still tried it, and I think, and this was years ago when I first started doing it, because I was trying to stay on program, wanted to do what he said. I went from like doing 30 something to like 72 push-ups, and that was not anything different than just doing the breathing and then holding it in. So basically, oxygenating your blood, saturating it, and then getting one last bit in so that it releases or counteracts the lactic acid buildup. Again, that one I'm not sure on the science of it, but I think that's the idea where you can kind of make yourself superhuman. But I mean that alone, like what? Like I went in, I got like way stronger just from like doing some breathing. It's hard to do at the gym because you look like a psychopath. But if you could do it quietly, which is what I do, and I have been doing it lately just because it's kind of, again, it's work. So I'm just adding on to exercise. But if you could do it, I do like make it like a whisper breathe. Um, if you can do that, you'll get into the gym and be like, dude, I didn't know. It's like the angel dust thing. Like, oh, he did angel dust and he lifted a car. Probably didn't go down like that, but I would believe, people are way more capable of lifting heavy shit, staying in cold water, all this crazy stuff that you think mentally is not capable or you're not possible. It can be. It's your own body telling your mind you're gonna die, and you're not. You're not gonna die from this stuff. Um, Anybody who's like in the Tampa area that wants to hit me up personally, I will sit and talk to anybody. I'll run them through the whole gamut of the Wim Hof method. I'll have it taught to you in an afternoon, and you could take that home with you. And if you stay with it, you'll be like me. You'll be podcasting and being a what's the word? What did Jesus have? An apostle? I guess you'd be an apostle of Wim Hof. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The guy's legit. One thing I wanted to mention is that he's got a book, not him, but there's a book by Scott Carney, who was some kind of journalist who heard about Wim Hof and was going to go and meet the guy and um, try and take a shit on it, basically debunk the Wim Hof method. And he goes over there, and Wim Hof had like, I forget what mountain they were supposed to climb, but he had it planned, and Scott Carney did the Wim Hof method training, and was so convinced by it all that he went out and wrote the book Proselytizing for Wim Hof. So I've yet to come across somebody who's going to take a shit on it and could, because every time he does a scientific study, they hook him up, they get their mind blown. The guy can predictively change his heart rate. If you follow me on Instagram, you see, like, I posted stuff where I take a screenshot of my Apple Watch and it shows my heart rate going from like 39 to 140 while I'm doing my breathing. I forget which one, but it's a matter of like when I breathe it all in, my heart rate increases, and when I let it out, it slows way down, I think. But like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to say, "Hey, can you lower your heart rate and then raise it again?" Figure it out. Like, now you can. I mean, I don't know if it was something that I've learned just from practicing the Wim Hof method over and over again, or if it's from, I don't know. It doesn't matter. um, but yeah, the guy is legit. Check out the show notes. I'm gonna put all kinds of shit in there because there's so much more to read about that could be kind of boring for a scientific study, that sort of shit. But he's got the WimHofMethod.com. Go to that, check all that stuff out. At this point, he's pretty much, I think, put his breathing method technique out on the internet. You could check that out. I won't directly copy his intellectual property, but it's not that hard. And go out and finish your shower cold. Take a hot shower regular, and then turn it all the way off, and then back on to the cold, and then sit there for as long as you can. Doesn't have to be 10 minutes, doesn't have to be, an hour. Just do it for as long as you can to feel like you did something fucking cool, something badass. Oh man, I think that's about enough of me. I appreciate everybody listening. Check out sweatequitypod.com. I'm gonna put the incremental. I have a iTunes stream for the incremental, but it also will go out under the Sweat Equity stream because it's Christmas time, and again, we're kind of using it as filler. So I appreciate it. Check out the Inner Fire app on the iTunes store. Excuse me. I should Wim Hof. I'm actually a little bit sick right now, believe it or not. But everybody else in my house is sick as shit. So I'm kind of like better than them. I don't know. Not really. Because I'm about to choke on my own spit here. All right, that's enough of me. Again, I appreciate everybody listening. Like us on Facebook. We're everywhere. Go to sweatlodge.studio. Also, this place where I'm at, we're renting it out. We're gonna have people join the Sweat Equity Podcast streaming network. If you have a podcast and you think it's good enough to warrant this kind of production, I mean, you gotta top what I just brought. So, yeah, yeah, not tough. Anyways, I appreciate everybody listening. Have a great day. Do the breathing. The cold is your warm friend. All that. And have a nice holiday and get your shit together in 2019. Stop being a pussy. Embrace the shitty. What else? What other taglines I have? I don't know. I need to get off here. Goodbye.